We'll start with Jillian Bell. Can you give us a brief summary of the plot of Godmothered, please?
Sure. Um, Godmothered is about Eleanor, a fairy godmother in training, who believes that everybody still needs a fairy godmother. And so she comes to Earth looking for a little girl who wrote her a letter saying that she needs a fairy godmother. And she finds that the little girl is actually a grown up, played by the lovely and brilliant Isla Fisher. And her character thinks that she doesn't need a fairy godmother, and Eleanor is there to prove otherwise.
Great. So this is for all three of you. We'll just start with Jillian Bell again. Can you briefly describe the character that you play in the movie?
I play Eleanor. She's a fairy godmother in training. She is optimistic, probably to a fault. She is determined and naive. She has such good intentions, and all she wants to do is prove that fairy godmothers are necessary.
Isla, you want to describe your character?
I play Mackenzie Walsh. I'm a single mom to two beautiful, talented daughters. I am grieving the loss of my husband, and I'm working a job that does not bring me much joy. And I do need a fairy godmother, although I don't know it consciously. And thanks to the lovely Eleanor, I learned to see love again in the world and to realize all the blessings I have in front of me, and more importantly, to undo some of the messages that I've given my eldest daughter that are holding her back in her creative vocation.
Jillian?
I play Jane, who is a typical teenager with her face buried in her laptop, and she has very bad stage fright because of the loss of her father, and she really loves to sing and write music, but is just stuck in her shell and is having a hard time coming out of that. But we see her over the course of the movie grow confidence as Eleanor and eventually her mom come to support her.
So this next question is also for all three of you. We'll start with Jillian Spaeder. What's something or multiple things that attracted you most about the project that made you want to do the film?
The thing that most attracted me about this project was not only the female empowerment, which obviously I love, but I was so excited to get to sing and act in the same project. That's something I haven't really gotten to do before, and that was very exciting for me.
Isla, you want to go?
I was very drawn to this project as a mother because I felt the message in the story was so much more inclusive and modern than a lot of the fairy tales that that one tells as a parent or reads the stories to young people about, like our daughters needing to want to be princesses and live in a castle and be rescued by a knight in shining armor, or wear a dress or look a certain way and think a certain thing. And I just love the fact that this is a story that says your idea of happy ever after is whatever you want it to be, and that being one doesn't need to wear a princess and dress to feel like we can have a happy ever after.
Jillian Bell, you want to tell us what attracted you to it most?
I mean, both of those ladies killed it with those answers. I think the thing that I was initially so attracted to was the idea of playing a magical being. I have always wanted to play a witch, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to it. I love that the message of the movie was so beautiful and inclusive, and just redefined happily ever after.
Great. So again, we'll go to all three of you. We'll start with Isla this time. What would happily ever after be for you?
Happily ever after for me right now would be a vaccine that's available to all the vulnerable members of society, and also being around my family in person and getting to hug my nieces and nephews. Yeah.
Great. Jillian Bell?
Oh, it's hard not to pick a vaccine, but to be different, I will say just Happily ever after to me. What? I let you want something different.
Puppies.
Oh, my dogs. Happily ever after to me would be having a life that is creatively fulfilling and peaceful and joyful, feeling loved and giving love to those around me.
Jillian, Spaeder, you want to go?
Ooh. Happily ever after for me would probably include a bucket of allergy meds so I can live in a room with 100 Pomeranians for the rest of my life and for everybody to wear their masks.
That's awesome. So we kind of touched on this a little bit, but this will be my last question. If we could just kind of, you guys can all take it together, bounce off each other. What do you think is the most important message in Godmothered that you would like viewers to take away?
I mean, it's a sorry.
No, go.
I think the most important message not the most important, I think one of the most important messages in Godmothered is that it's essentially a celebration of female friendship and just off camera, it's such a fantastic ensemble of lady actors and lady director, lady writer, fantastic lady producers. And I like to think that, it's a girl power moment and the time is right for it.